Welcome back to the DNA Pest Control Podcast 2024.
Welcome back.
With your hosts, Daniel.
And Aaron.
There we go.
Yeah. No, welcome back, though. It's been a month.
It's been a month, and it's been a good month. Got to relax, got to take a break, got to focus on some very important things, which was very, very good, all positive, and we're back in the new year. Right? What's your favorite saying?
Oh, you know me so well. New year, same me.
Same me, exactly. Yeah. No one's changing. Come on. Get over it. No, today's episode, we wanted to keep positive. We wanted to keep very light and fun because we did a ton of stuff over the last year.
Oh, yeah.
It was actually pretty insane. And now looking, even diving into the numbers is even cooler to see. And thanks to everybody who's listening. It was you guys out there that, made a lot of this happen. But really cool to kind of see some of these numbers flooding in and what we did over the year and what we're going to do this year. Mm-hmm. But kind of a recap of last year, we went to a ton of different places. What was one of your favorite places that we went to?
I mean, Pest World Hawaii is an obvious one.
Yeah. Okay.
One that sticks out to me was earlier in the year, the West Coast Rodent Academy.
Okay.
And we had a couple episodes on that, but how much I pulled from that and was able to apply it immediately was so apparent and noticeable, like in the everyday, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I took a lot from that. What about you?
Man, we last year, and this year will be a little bit different, but last year, we focused on going to a lot of these different conferences. And so there were certain things that stuck out different at each one. Like I really was blown away with, not the Rodent Academy, Wildlife Expo. That was shocking. Not necessarily the area. It was in Myrtle Beach. It was cool. It was cold. It wasn't the time to go, but that was actually a really cool experience. Just the difference compared to Pest World and really some of the other conferences and how everybody gets together and they really shared so much information.
Yeah.
That was a really cool one. The next one I really was kind of blown away with was Safety Summit. Safety Summit was another awesome one. They had guys from Orkin, from Terminex, and these guys were the head people over safety. And they were just kind of like, here's everything. Here's my information. Here's my email, which I don't think Orkin would like. But they were like, message me. I don't care. I'll tell you everything. I'll give you all of our secrets. So it was really cool in that aspect that they just gave all that information out. Sure. Of course, Hawaii was awesome. That was a great experience. We had a ton of fun. We did a ton of stuff there. And everything you learn from Pest World is always a good thing. And then even the different experience we had when it came to Las Vegas and Ignite and really seeing what Field Routes did with, what's the other,
not Service Titan.
Shoot.
I know.
What was
Aspire.
Aspire.
Yeah, Field Routes and Aspire.
Field Routes and Aspire. And so that was kind of a cool thing. And they did it, and they made it very unique with the poker tables at the end. Go listen to the episodes. We busted out quite a few on that. So I did have, different areas. I don't know if there was one that really was the best because each one was so different in its way. And there was so much information learned at each place, that it was just an all around. It was good. It was good in each location. It was pretty cool.
Yeah. The common theme for me of all the different ones we went to, at least that stuck out, was the potential or the missing potential from what we have been doing to what we can be doing and how obvious it is, but you just have to be looking in the right places, asking the right questions.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, you're right. And yes, everywhere you go, everywhere we were, there is that information. And there's so much that we brought back from that and changed and implemented because of it and made so much more because of it. just by some small little tweaks here and there,
Yeah.
where we come back and it's like, hey, we got this we can use, we got that we can use, we can do this, we can do that, we can do that. And so there's so much build up there to add just added on services, because we're already doing, literally part of that service. We're just adding on a few additional things to make more money.
Yeah.
And we got to see that, rodent exclusion almost doubled in price because of all the additional things we started adding on. That was all brought to these locations, these different expos that we went to.
Yeah.
So that was really cool. Any other places that really stuck out to you?
No, obviously the places, like the physical places we were going to, I enjoyed, like Hawaii, and then the Ignite event in Vegas, because I'd never been to Vegas, I'd never been to Hawaii.
Oh,
so
yeah.
I'm,
Okay.
I'm like part-time tourist there because I'm trying to soak it all in.
Yeah.
But even going on the Rodent Academy down in LA, I think it's not even the place, it's just the people there. It's like everybody's there. It's like they just want to engage and they want to learn and be better and share their ideas, which threw me back. I know we have tons of episodes on that about how that culture shift is kind of shifting over now, and the tide raises all the boats, things like that, which is awesome for everybody in our industry.
Yeah.
But no, I mean, Hawaii was probably my favorite when it comes to the actual destinations we went to, for probably obvious reasons,
Yeah. Oh yeah. Well, and going back and piggybacking off of what you're saying, about how everyone that goes to these are looking to grow and looking to learn. And it's a shock, because when you're in a company, even here, not everybody wants to learn, and you can't make everybody want to learn. You can't make everyone want to put their all into it. Even though there's one, hey, this is my career choice, this is what I want to do, whatever. They don't want to learn everything. They kind of want to kind of skim by on that minimum, but make the maximum they can.
Sure.
So it is cool when you do get to surround yourself with so many other professionals in the industry that are like, no, I'm here to get to the next level, which is awesome.
Yeah.
Because competition is the greatest thing for growth. You don't have competition, you're not pushing for growth. So getting to see these other people learning what we're learning, there's no secrets out here, guys.
That's exactly what it is.
It's you're getting more people educated, and now the playing gets tougher. Which, if you've ever played Xbox back in the day, when Xbox Live was top notch with Halo, you know exactly who was playing online and who wasn't. Because if you ever tried to play on a split screen with that guy who played online, you were getting destroyed.
Yeah.
You were getting destroyed because it was a whole nother level. But that's what it is in this world, and going to these expos is the guys that are going. And what's even great is there's so many that do go that don't learn anything, or they think they already know everything, and so it's just boring for them.
Yeah.
But the ones that are actually putting their all into it and pulling good information from it is awesome.
Yeah.
Because they're just raising that bar and raising that standard, and then we get to grow because of it. Because we know, hey, there's someone else out there that's probably coming after us or getting close to it.
Yeah.
And we got to push harder.
Definitely.
So it's fun. The next thing, I'm going to skip. We're going to come back to it because that will kind of piggyback back and forth. But something you learned that really stuck out this year.
I'll go something substantial and something abstract. So substantial, bed bugs.
Okay.
I think this year I learned so much information about bed bugs, not only with the actual services that we were doing here with the business, but how heavy the bed bug classes were at Pest World and some of these events. And I even took a bed bug seminar with the local geotech and vet labs rep when they did it over the video call. And because there must have been such a spike in reported bed bug activity.
This year was the heaviest.
So I think just information wise, I think that's where I took the most out of it. I think sort of where I improved my mindset is being better at finding opportunities when they come by, whether that's talent, business, new ideas. You've heard of like the red car theory?
Yes.
Okay. So people who don't know, it's like if I ask Daniel, I'm like, hey, how many red cars did you see here on the way to the office? Probably like what? Like 1, 2 maybe?
Probably 0. I wasn't paying attention.
But if I got in the truck with you and I'm like, hey, on your 15-minute drive home, every red car that you point out, I'll give you $50. You're counting at least 20, 25 red cars.
Oh yeah.
So I think
twice.
Yeah. Yeah. But the point is, it's like, I think I've been able to apply that, whether it's training opportunities for guys or it's sales opportunities, or if I'm looking at a house, like stepping back after I've already stepped back to see, is there anything else we can offer? And I think that's where the biggest jump I've made, aside from there. But what about you?
Very similar, because I like understanding. It really is interesting to me when I jump into chemicals, the modes of action with chemicals, really how certain things function. That's one big thing I loved. And so those were stuff that I learned throughout the year is, how do certain chemicals work for certain insects and how does it kill them and the biology of them. So there was some really, really awesome classes at Pest World that we got to really dive into some of those things. And that's fun to me. Now, going back, what's more important, because that wasn't the main purpose. That wasn't really the thing that changed my life. But the safety summit was one that I think I took for granted. And now what we're going through and what we're seeing, the importance is so huge. And it's taking feelings out of it. So it 2 parts, right? So if I was a tech and I would say, hey, chemicals, modes of action, how it kills the insect, super awesome. That was one of my top things I learned this year.
Yeah.
Most relevant for anybody who's running a pest control business or is over the technicians or over the safety side of it, take your feelings out of it. That is probably the biggest takeaway in 2023 that I finally came to the conclusion is eliminate the feelings, eliminate this is a family, you're part of the family. That's all bullshit. You're not part of the family. This is a professional team. Okay. We're trying our hardest to do exactly what we need. We're going to have success by doing it. Everyone who's pushing the hardest is going to be rewarded the most.
Yeah.
The ones that aren't, you're probably going to get cut and someone else is going to come in.
Yep.
And that was one of the biggest things I learned. And that goes into the safety summit because we were always tiptoeing around guys and their driving and everything like that, because we wanted to keep them on, because we had feelings tied to it. And at the end of the day, it's the feelings don't matter. You need to have structure. You need to have processes. If you're going 90 and a 65, you're going to get pulled over. Can you get angry? Yes, you can. But you cannot get angry at the cop. You can only get angry at yourself.
Right.
You knew the rule. You signed the book. You have a license. You know exactly what the rules were. You can't get mad.
Yeah.
You did something illegal. And that's what I took away is you have to create certain systems. And because of that, you take away the feelings, you know the consequences. And even giving out those consequences, it's, you knew what you did. Yeah. Don't get mad. Calm down. Take a breather. You can get pissed off at yourself. You want to go hit yourself, whatever. I don't care. But you can't get mad at anything else.
No.
You chose what you chose. So that was probably the biggest thing I took away.
That's good.
Is you need to take your feelings out of it. It's a professional place and you're looking for the best of the best. And you're going to create really awesome relationships as if it was family, but you need to keep it in mind when it comes to business. Business is business, and you're looking for the best of the best and the people who are going to succeed.
Yeah.
Because everybody wants to make the most that they can and to have the life that they want. You can't do that when someone's just mediocre. And you got to create those systems and take the feelings away, or you'll never get there. So that was one of the big things I learned.
I can see it.
Yeah.
Shows.
Thank you.
In a good way.
In a good way.
In a good way.
All right. Next thing is favorite episode.
Favorite episode. There's a couple of them. I probably have to go with Zach from Down Under. Really fun
Zach.
talking to him. And I think it's so cool because like when I'm looking at a globe, like how far Australia is, you know what I mean? And it's like, he's dealing with the same crazy shit we're dealing with. Like, or like, you know, insane customer expectation, changes in chemical formulations, rodenticides, you know, just so much of the like the mundane day-to-day stuff that you feel like you're getting in your own head. And it's like, no, everybody's dealing with this. Doesn't matter if they're a town over or a country over.
Yeah.
You know, so there's so much benefit from collaborating and bouncing ideas from anybody in the industry who's willing to talk about it and, you know, be open-minded and grow, which Zach was awesome because he had his alarm set for 2 a.m. and he, you know, on the phone call before we called him in, he was like, all right, just give me a second, you know, because he was like waking up, which I loved, you know.
Yeah.
But I had a really fun with that episode.
Yeah, you know what? That was a fun episode, and I too agree with you on that. Is a lot of the guest episodes were fun. Like Gary, got along with Gary, met Gary at the Safety Summit. That was a lot of fun. Super down to earth guy. Chandler Larson, he actually does all of our benefits here.
Yeah,
but he talked about money, really how it works, savings, things like that. So that's a huge thing that I really enjoyed. And so many people shy away from it and they're scared of it. But when you start to look at the monster, you know, money, you gain so much more control.
Yeah.
So just facing that. Another fun one, Cedar Software. I remember that.
Cash.
Yep. He was a cool one. The Pest Posse, met those guys in real life at the Pest World, you know, so that was a ton of fun too. You know, so going back, a lot of the pest guests, those are honestly, I would say, my favorite episodes.
Yeah.
As much as I do like talking about the business side of it and diving into those things and what we're learning and sharing that information, when we're able to pull someone on and talk to them, you're on the other side of the world. Probably a day difference, you know, in time. It's so cool. Just the difference in pest control, what they use, how they do it. It's just, it brings such a unique experience to it. And it really opens up your mind that your world's a lot bigger than just your local little town.
Yeah.
You know, we pulled on guests from the Midwest, the Mideast. They're doing chicken farms. It's really cool to hear those guys talk about their experience and what's going on out there.
Yeah.
And them also dealing with the same stuff we're dealing with. And it doesn't matter what country you are in Canada, Australia, it doesn't matter. We're all going through the same crap. So it's really cool.
I love that. That was a lot of fun.
Oh yeah. All right. Next little thing before we come to a close. I know this was a quick episode, and we wanted to throw it out there, but a fun one to go over is some of the stuff we did. So 2022, just so everyone knows, we started this podcast about 4 years ago, I think it was. Off and on, not too consistent. We apologize, but we stuck through it and we kept going. Like everyone knows, we don't make money off of it. This is a hobby, a very expensive hobby, but a hobby.
Fun hobby.
A very fun hobby. And from 2022, we only did a little over 11,000 downloads. And the difference from 2022 to 2023 is we doubled that. We got over 23,000, almost 24,000 downloads. So that is really awesome. And thanks for everybody who's listening in and downloading the episodes. That's not how many people have listened to it. So there's probably a lot more. These are just actual downloads,
right?
Which is cool. So thank you so much to everyone out there listening and supporting, asking questions, getting involved, meeting us at the booth. That was a ton of fun. So thank you so much for that. Another thing we wanted to hit on is, let me pull it up here, some of the stats.
No, I like numbers.
Yeah. So cool thing is is some of the biggest episodes, so top episodes of all time. You know, we've never really gone back and talked about this. So if you guys are listening, you're driving right now in the truck, write these down and go look them up. Because they are fun. They're really good. I remember recording some of these. So I like it. So the correct way to eliminate rodents, that was a fun one. I don't think you were a part of that.
I think all these are before my time.
Oh, okay. Dang, what does that say about you?
It says I got work to do. Yeah. It says I got some work to do.
Oh, and I got to be the asshole, huh? No, so the correct way to eliminate rodents was a fun one because that was a quick recap on that one is really talking about the changes in California because we had the rodenticide law change everything. And so it was big on exclusion work. Yeah. And what we did from that episode, which if I'm wrong, and I could be right, is I think it was about 2 years ago, maybe a little over 2 years ago, we came out with that episode. And it was heavy on exclusion work. We should probably do a recap of that because there's so much more that we know now today that would destroy this episode.
Which is awesome.
Yeah, because we dove into it and we know some of the basics, but from what we came to from then to now is so different. And we're doing so much more. And it's not really that much of a difference.
Yeah.
We're just doing it in a different way, a lot cleaner, a lot better, adding on a few little things here and there to make sure we get that success, which is cool. So, but go back and listen. Obviously, it's a very popular one. It's been around for a long time, a couple of years. The one that was a big hit, which I'm going to skip down. So it's number 4 is actually work faster, not harder. That one I do remember hitting. I prepared that one. It took me a minute to get that one all ready.
Nice.
But I was also in a vehicle. And so the big takeaways on that is how to complete your route in a fast way and not in a hard way.
Yeah.
And pre-planning your day out, putting your stops into Google, a lot of those little tips and tricks shave a massive amount of time off of your day.
Yeah.
Pause there. If you're a route tech, you may not want to do that because you'll get your day done really, really quick. Now, if you're getting a percentage of production, do this and tell them to add on a ton of accounts because then you can make a ton of money.
Oh, yeah.
If you're a guy who's starting your company, do this because this is going to allow you to have a ton of time to focus on the business and not just the work. But that one was a really fun one.
Yeah.
Another one was We Have It Good. That was actually number 3. Did you have none of these, right?
I've listened to the rodent one.
Okay.
I haven't listened to the other 2 you mentioned.
Okay. We Have It Good was a good one that just talked about how great the industry is and really putting the light on the positive behind the industry. We're kind of the dark black hole of the world, right? No one wants to look at us. No one wants to talk about us. But everybody needs us.
Yeah.
And everybody wants us at some point because they have an issue. But we do really have it good in so many ways, to recession proof, to pretty much everything proof other than a natural disaster. And even that, which is cool, is wherever that natural disaster hits, the town over is going to get flooded with pests.
Oh, yeah.
So
never stops.
So it doesn't really matter. You just can't. I mean, if you're covering a massive area, then you'll be okay.
Yeah.
You'll lose some accounts here. Once it gets rebuilt back up, everything's going to come back. But all the surrounding towns are going to get slammed with every pest you can think of.
Yeah.
So we really do have it good. And then that came in number 2 is bed bugs. Not what you think.
Nice.
We went pretty heavy on bed bugs just like this last year for you. Bed bugs was a big thing, and I learned a ton of stuff about bed bugs, a ton of classes on bed bugs, and it really shed the light on what they are and how to take care of them and what technicians are really overseeing. They're not really taking a bed bug as is. They're trying to create this monster in their head of we can't control it. And I don't even want to look at it, touch it, do anything with it because it's this big, scary bug that no one can control and it's impossible. And It's really not. You just got to understand what the bed bug is. So go back and listen to those episodes. Those top 4 episodes were good episodes, obviously, and they were fun to do. So there's a quick top episode of all time, all 4. And if Gary is listening to this one, sorry, dude, yours did not make it to the top 5. So, but he was up there. Yeah, I think he's in the top 10.
Not bad.
Not bad. Good job, Gary. Holy crap. Yeah, he's up there. So, but anyway, so those are kind of the fun numbers, fun episodes, some of our favorites, some of the top ones. If you haven't listened to, go back and listen to them.
I think that's great. And I hope everybody had a fulfilling and engaging year, just like we did. I know this episode, we kind of highlighted a lot of the positive things we did and some of the fun things. And in part 2, we'll kind of talk about more of the challenges and what we've done to overcome and how we're going to carry that into the next year. But please, I mean, you have us on social media, you have our email, you have the website. Any questions you want to ask or any experiences you want to share, don't feel afraid to reach out. We're more than willing to go over some of these questions on the episode basis or at the end of the month on the Q&A. But as always, thank you again for listening to the DNA Pest Control Podcast.